Fear Itself, Episode 2, Spooked. About a corrupt cop who I guess could fit into the anti-hero genre, but this isn't really Dirty Harry. This guy's more on the bad side. Dirty Hero was a cop that didn't play by the rules. It seems like our friend, Harry, doesn't really play by any rules.
Put your eye out.
Oh. Where's the boy?
Oh, what boy?
Where's the boy?
The boy!
Rory? Where is he? Where is he?
You can watch every episode of Fear Itself, including this one, on the Roku channel. They have all 13 episodes for free. They just play some ads, so check it out. The episode literally starts with him just beating a suspect, cutting him, punching him, basically doing whatever he wants to a guy who has kidnapped a child. We then find that the child is located upstairs. Yeah, Harry, you probably should have checked upstairs before you started slicing his neck. But he doesn't. You know, he runs in there, he tunes up the bad guys, and then he ends up getting fired from his job. He doesn't go to jail, but he does get his badge and his gun taken away because of not only this beating, but apparently a bunch of other ones he did in the past. Yeah, Harry, this is not the 1980s. This is 2008, and people have flip phones now, and they might record you tuning up a bad guy. So he ends up getting fired, and this episode goes to some pretty interesting places. It's essentially a haunted house, but it really takes on abuse, corrupt cops, and cheating husbands and wives. We also learn that Harry, as much as he likes getting into the boxing ring with these bad guys and giving them a left and a right, he actually has never shot his gun. And they reference this several times in the episode, and they actually explain why, and it actually kind of makes sense. So this is much more than a haunted house story. And I think it's much better for that choice. Even in 2008, there's been a ton of haunted house movies. So they had to do something a little different here and kind of do some flashbacks. And I think it works out really well.
Sometimes you gotta do a wrong to make things right.
I'm not so sure Rory Bemmel would agree with that sentiment.
What's gonna be, counselor? You gonna lock me up and swallow the key? What?
You saved a senator's child, Harry. That's a pretty big bargaining chip. 100 hours. Community service. But say goodbye to your badge and your pension.
That's kind of the setup, but it actually goes to some pretty interesting places, including doing some pretty good character development, so you actually learn why Harry is acting this way. So he gets fired from his job and sets up his own surveillance business, where it seems like he focuses on people that cheat on their husband or wives. In this case, a lady hires him to figure out if her husband is cheating on her. She suggests a very interesting way to figure out if he's cheating. Basically, she has him stay in this abandoned house and set up his surveillance there so that he can use his telescope to look into the husband's house to see if he's cheating. Already, we can see the production values in this are really good. You know, I've been covering Monsters and Tales from the Dark Side, where the cast consists of like 2 or 3 people. Well, look, we have a cast of 18. And there's a bunch of other extras that are in the background. This is on network television, NBC, so their budget is really, really good. Definitely enough to pull off what they're trying to do in this episode.
Harry, I see some hellholes in my day. This looks like the helliest and the holiest. Oh, God. I never thought I'd be looking forward to that nasty old van.
Cut the chatter.
Harry's first night in the house does not go very well. He sees some visions and hears some audio about some of his past crimes, some of the people that he tortured when he was a cop. This understandably freaks him out, and he keeps coming back to this one painting that's in the first floor of the house. Understandably, he goes to the woman that hired him and tells her he doesn't want to do this anymore. He's quitting, he's throwing in the towel, but she gives a rousing speech and puts on some crocodile tears and convinces him, please Harry, just one more night at the house, just one more night. I know my husband's cheating. And this somehow works on him. This is a trope a lot of horror stories do. They have to make the first night not so bad that this character wants to come back, but also bad enough that you kind of go, he's kind of stupid. Why would he go back? It works okay, but I'm glad they broke it up over 2 days. He goes to this house on 2 separate occasions, rather than just having the whole thing take place in one day. It gives them some time to add in some more story and some motivations on why this person is hiring him to go into this house. Because she is definitely in on it. This is not some innocent victim of her husband cheating on her. She wants Harry to go into that haunted house and is seemingly doing anything she can, even implying that she'll, give him some sexual favors if he just goes in one more night. So he does. How do you think it goes?
Maybe you fell asleep. Dreamt it all.
What time is it, kids?
Look, I was thinking,
I got kids in the house.
man, maybe you
James?
like go on vacation or something.
I got kids in the house.
What?
Did she say she had kids? Oh, no.
Don't you touch him, son.
It seems that Howard has been tricked by the haunted house, or at least someone who knows something about the haunted house. The house that he was looking at the entire time with the cheating husband is completely empty and up for sale. And this is where we see that this episode is quite smart. You're not just going to get a monster in the haunted house that tries to kill him, or something like that. This isn't Amityville horror, but something a little more sinister. We get some backstory on why exactly he doesn't carry a gun.
Hey, you want to see something neat? Sure.
Wow, Pop's gun.
Someday, I'm gonna be a cop, just like him. Bang!
Don't.
It's not loaded, dummy. Pop keeps the bullets in here. You want to hold it?
No,
Don't be a baby.
I'm not a baby.
Then hold the gun.
Bang, 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 bang.
What was that? Okay. Oh, Max. No, Max.
And his old crimes come back to haunt him. You see, this house is actually trying to get him to commit suicide, and it almost works.
There were 4. The girl.
I told you I'd never let you forget this.
It was her. She survived.
No, I won't let you go.
She wanted this to happen.
Harry, you have to pay the price.
The character Harry Siegel is played by Eric Roberts, who has been in literally everything. I mean, he has 748 acting credits. In fact, in 2004 alone, he acted in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. He acted in like 60 movies. How is this possible? What is going on here? I mean, they're mostly horror movies. Terror of the Soul, Scars, Double Cross, Amityville, Bigfoot. Okay. But wow, this guy is prolific. And he's been acting since the late 70s. And Eric Roberts does a great job playing Harry Siegel. It's a pretty difficult role for him, since he kind of has to be a little bit of a hard ass. But when we learn that, he accidentally killed his brother with a gun, and then his father and him later covered it up, it's actually also kind of implied that the father killed his wife, too, to kind of cover up. So Harry shoots his brother accidentally with a gun, then his father kills his wife, which would be Harry's mother, to kind of cover up for this crime and blame it on the mother. That's at least what I got from this. So, a pretty traumatic childhood, and his father was also a cop, and he says that he wants to be a cop just like his father. While they talk about some of the bad things that he's doing, these ghosts will kind of go around talking about the people he tortured. Apparently he set someone on fire. Can't imagine why he did that. So he's definitely taking his anger out on these criminals when he was a cop, but you still feel a little sympathetic for him. And the fact that the haunted house is trying to get him to commit suicide and making him see visions of his past and making him feel guilty for these. I mean, he should feel guilty for these, but probably suicide is not the correct way out. He does pull this off really well. He has to be emotional, he has to cry, he has to also be kind of a hard ass, he also has to be a little dumb. So he has to basically fill every single part of this role. Considering this guy acts in 4,000 movies a year, he does a really good job, and I think it's a really good choice. This episode was directed by Brad Anderson, who's best known for directing The Machinist with Christian Bale, and an episode of Masters of Horror, Sounds Like. This episode was written by Mick Garris, so we'll see this a lot in Fear Itself. He's getting the old band back together. A lot of the people that directed Masters of Horror episodes also are involved in Fear Itself.
Harry! You knew what that house could do. Instead, you sent me up to get me inside. Why? Why? Answer me right here. Tell me now. Why? Why?
He told me to!
Who told you to?
Rory Bama. The man that you murdered and walked away from, Rory Bemmel, he was my brother! How's it just shows you what it wants to show you? One thing about yourself you can't live with. Took the three of them, but see, Rory, he protected me.
You're so easy. All you needed was a little push.
Shut up.
What? What did that place show you, Harry?
Nothing.
What's the one thing that you can't live with?
Nothing.
What's the one thing that made you a monster?
Harry, listen to me. It wasn't your fault, son. But sometimes you gotta do it wrong to make things right.
So I'm feeling a solid 8 out of 10 for Spooked. I think it's not quite as good as the debut episode, The Sacrifice, but it is a lot smarter and it takes you to a lot of different places. It's amazing how much they fit into what is a 43-minute TV episode. And really the haunted house is just sort of a catalyst of him dealing with his inner demons. I like it a lot, and we get a ending that deals out, I guess you could say, poetic justice. His partner ends up shooting him on accident, just the way that Harry, on accident, shot his brother many years ago. So the next episode is episode 3, Family Man, about a prisoner who switches bodies with a serial killer. And we begin the tangent that happens in this series, where they love serial killers. We're going to run into them a lot during this series of only 13 episodes. Check out our playlist for the series Monsters, which is almost finished, Tales from the Dark Side, we're on the first season, and Fear Itself, which will be finished in the next few months. Thanks.